Joe Cruz loved his job as a New York City paramedic.
Rewarding, yeah, totally, always. The good days make up for the bad.
It's the good days he tries to remember, and the bad days he wants to forget.
We're just eating breakfast, and next thing you know, we get a call to Tower 1. There's a fire. That's how they described it. Nobody knew the details.
All of a sudden, it was just going really fast and full throttle, and then it blew up.
I just feel a little shook up because I got blasted.
It just turned like this and slammed into the other building.
These acts of mass murder were intended to frighten our nation into chaos and retreat. But they have failed.
We drove the ambulances like they were stolen.
It wasn't until he got to the North Tower that he realized how bad it actually was.
We just looked up when we saw the hole in the side of the building. Lots of smoke, lots of fire, and all of a sudden people started dropping. Lots of people. I mean, the sound of somebody hitting the ground from 100 stories, is unforgettable.
And in the middle of all the chaos and without thinking, Cruz did the one thing he was trained to do.
It started the evacuation of people that were able to make it down. They were bringing down patients. We were treating them right there and transporting.
But the horrors outside, the sounds.
We could hear the people crashing through the windows at the Trade Center opening. The lobby windows, you could just see everything. You know, and we had to walk through that, taking patients out.
And then the towers fell.
Let's go!
First, the South Tower, and then 29 minutes later, the North Tower.
We heard the last transmissions from the firemen, and all of a sudden we heard the rumble, and we looked up, and there it was coming down. Everything went black.
Go!
It's these sounds he'll never forget.
Yeah.
The visions he wants to erase from his memory, but can't.
No.
Nightmares from that day in September.
I don't even have to close my eyes. I could see it right now.
For the next 17 days, he worked at Ground Zero wherever he could. From digging through debris or looking for survivors, and the smells.
It was worst the days following, when the flesh started to rot.
And in the silence of the aftermath, sounds that still haunt him. The locator beacons of the fallen firemen.
That's all we heard in the rubble. Just the eerie chirping of those here, there, everywhere. Sometimes they weren't even attached to a fireman. You know, that's all you heard amongst the silence. It felt like you were working in hell.
17 days of hell he wanted to forget.
But about a year later, Joe Cruz moved out west to get a fresh start, eventually settling here in the Dalles.
I came out west. I took a job up on one of the Cascade Mountains as a medic.
Since moving to Oregon, Cruz married his wife, Shelley. Retired, he was also diagnosed with PTSD.
The whole career just went downhill gradually.
He says playing darts helps him to forget the sights, the sounds, and the smells.
It helps you with your focus. Your concentration grows dramatically when you're focusing in on one spot. You know how many times I've missed? Millions.
Focusing on his future, unable to forget the past. Out of the blue, a call.
Listen, Cruz, we've been trying to locate you. We got something that belongs to you. I was like, do I owe a bill? Give us some time. We'll get it out there to you, and whatever it is. That following Friday, which was about 2 weeks ago, I opened it up, and it was my medal from 9/11 service. They also give you a ribbon.
For almost 17 years, it collected dust in a drawer.
I was really, really excited to know that it was that medal. You know, we don't need them, but at the same time, it puts a stamp on your career.
And after all the nightmares and pain, some recognition.
I'm really grateful to have received, you know, this and memory of everything that we experienced in the city, and you know, it's definitely a privilege.
Remarkable story. Cruz says he still carries a paramedic bag with him wherever he goes. And get this, his medal was one of 100 that were found. The New York Fire Department is now trying to track down who the rest of those medals belong to.
They deserve to get them for sure. Why did it take so long for Joe to get his medal?
So I'm told it's a couple things. First, after 9/11, as you can imagine, the years following, it was pretty chaotic. Then Joe moves away, and that makes it harder for the fire department to track him down. And then on top of everything, these were put into a storage unit and forgotten about.
We are so glad he has it now, and
Oh,
bless
he's
him.
excited.
I mean,
Yeah.
he's been
Thank him
through
for sharing
so
his
much.
story.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.